What is going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day today. Let's go ahead and just dive right into our daily cryptocurrency content for today. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin and seeing where price levels are headed over the next couple of days based upon us now breaking the 200-day moving average. So my strategy has now been amplified now that we have confirmation of a bear trend possibly heading towards the next couple of days into this new week. And I definitely want to address that and talk a little bit more about that. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it. So if we look at our current view right now, we are looking at our trading view chart. If you're watching this after it's already published, understand this is our live stream, which basically means that we're going to be doing a lot of user interaction today. So hopefully you guys don't mind that. Now this chart is a free chart. The link is in the description below. I'm going to just do a quick preface because I have been getting a lot of questions here about where our Discord is, where our Patreon is, where do you get trade alerts, what charts I'm using. So TradingView is in the link in the description. If you right click it, you can click insert indicator. We're going to be utilizing the volume, the 3 moving averages, the relative strength index, alongside with the MACD, and we're going to go in and out with the auto fib today to look at price levels and where I believe it's headed over the next couple of days. The 3 moving averages are represented here: the 50-day, the 100-day, the 200-day moving average. We've got the volume down here, the RSI, as well as the MACD. And if you guys want our Discord link, the description has the link. If you guys are watching this on other platforms, the link is on the top here. You guys can actually just type that in, maybe pause the video. And then this is our Discord. We actually have a whole trading resource here, Trading 101. So you guys can go through, look at all of our different charts here, all of our resources. And then best of all, you guys can go on the voice channels, enjoy yourselves in our boiler room, our crypto voice, or other chats here where we have 24/7 trade alerts and stuff of that nature. If you guys want our official trade alerts, I've actually personally signed up for another program today. I've got a ton of different subscriptions, trade alerts that cost thousands of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a year, to trade alerts that might cost a couple $100s a month. And I'm actually getting all of those sent to me directly and then giving it out to you guys on our Patreon. The link is in the description for that as well. And this is how that looks. Once you go onto this page, you guys can actually click become a patron. I went ahead and changed it. So now every single tier now gives you the trade alerts. If you guys go here, this is the minimum. You've got the ruby, sapphire, emerald, diamond as well. Some of them are limited, as you can see. So that is in the description below as well. So let's go ahead and get started with our live stream and start looking at Bitcoin and where prices are headed. This is the 200-day moving average once again. And if you guys see here, we have just broken that support level. I'll go ahead and amplify that for you here. And we'll go ahead and make that yellow with a slight boldness so you can see exactly where we broke that 200-day moving average. Being that we're watching the day chart right now, you can see we are starting to trend down. Current price levels around 7,900. RSI is still above 30. Hasn't yet seen complete bottom. And I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon around these price levels. My personal belief here, now that we've entered the bear trend, which is unfortunate, but it is the reality which we have to accept, is we are going to start heading down to these lower lows and then possibly heading back down to these previous support levels where we found some pretty significant support levels, at least in the fact that we saw it here from October 12th all the way up to October 28th, had a little bit of a rally, went back down around November 12th. And then we saw this huge run up. So here is my next price target here for Bitcoin, which I would put right around the $5,700 range, and then maybe even all the way back down to around $5,495. Being that we are in this bear trend, instead of using a line, I'm going to go ahead and use a price range just to show you guys exactly where I believe this price level may start to head. And that's going to be right down to these levels. And obviously it's unfortunate here for Bitcoin. However, this is the reality of the situation. Sorry about that notification. I'm going to try to change that soon. But this is the reality here. In my opinion, once we get down to these levels, we will most likely see some sort of horizontal movement with Bitcoin. Being the fact that prices have been less volatile than they've been in the past, you can see we've really seen this downtrend that started around December 17th, heading down all the way up to today, which is February 4th. Obviously, this downtrend is obviously not stopping. We're continuously going down. We've broken support. If you pull up the auto fib, you can see we're also in a whole new Fibonacci retracement. You can see we've entered the blue zone, which now means that the blue zone is going to go all the way down here. If you look at this, you can see this is actually right on top of support. So in my opinion, we're going to be entering the Fibonacci retracement here, heading right through it, which you typically do. Once you enter Fibonacci retracement, you break these support levels like you see happened here. You're typically going to expect to start heading down in price levels. So you can see how we broke right past that right there. It's unfortunate. My trading strategy heading into this, obviously, trading a horizontal market's never good. If you guys have done any sort of trading, I've traded traditional stocks. You're never looking for any horizontal patterns. You're always looking for something that's at least descending. Even a descending pattern is sometimes hard to trade. Typically, the horizontal pattern is just as hard. And in my opinion, if you're a day trader, you still have opportunities for some sort of swings. However, as a swing trader, which most people are, or value investors, that dollar cost average, I would say give it a little bit of time to start putting in those dollar cost average positions, because we can certainly see price levels head a lot lower than where they're at now. There really isn't any reason for Bitcoin to just kind of shoot up at this point out of nowhere. Understand that this run up was all parabolic, being the fact that less than 6 months ago, we were at price levels way lower than where we're at now. This is a very healthy correction in my opinion, but it's a little bit more than a correction. I think this is just confirmation that Bitcoin needs some time to settle down. We've seen this whole rally. It's obviously not going to just shoot back up to $20,000 in the next week. That's just very, very unlikely. There really would have to be some sort of extreme measure for that to occur, in my opinion. So that's the reality of the situation. As you play this, I would say for me personally, I've put in a position here around 11.4. Like you guys know, I never put all my positions in right away. That's one of the most basic trading fundamentals, in my opinion. Always proportion your positions or divide it. And what I mean by that is, let's say you put a 25% position, 25% position, 25% position. It is a form of dollar cost averaging. I would highly recommend that for you guys. And as you guys know, as we start heading into these Fibonacci retracements, we're going to have opportunities to buy. This is all buying pressure, in my opinion. And as this continues to build, it's going to give us the opportunity to get Bitcoin at a lot lower prices. So we're going to be taking some questions here just to look at what's happening here within the community. And hopefully you guys have a little bit of insight on that. And I think we'll have a lot of great questions today. So let's see if we can enlighten ourselves with something. Let's go ahead and pick my brain if you guys would like. Somebody says, how do you make money in a bear market without Tether? Roberts. Well, in a bear market, one thing you can do is look for what is acting as a hedge against Bitcoin. Ethereum is acting like a hedge against Bitcoin. As you can see, Ethereum is up right now. It's on an upward trend. Ethereum wasn't affected much from Bitcoin's consolidation. There's a big reason for this. Understand that Ethereum holds the ERC20 platform, which a lot of coins are built on, and coins and ICOs have fundraised utilizing the Ethereum token. So for Ethereum to drop in value would mean that a lot of these coins that have funded using the Ethereum platform, which most of them have, would be rendered useless in terms of the fundraised money that wouldn't be valued at what they were valued at once those fundraising times were apparent. And when you have VC investors investing in a lot of these brands and these companies and these projects, VC investors have their money locked in, and for the most part, they're not going to want to lose money. So that's why Ethereum is able to maintain its prices, in my opinion. It's being the fact that you've got VC money in here, you've got a lot of projects running on this platform, and for Ethereum's value to start dropping exponentially the way Bitcoin has, it would be detrimental to a lot of these projects. So a lot of the money has stayed within Ethereum, being the fact that a lot of the money understand that Ethereum, the Ethereum token holds, a lot of the value is within these companies that pretty much hold Ethereum for the most part, unless they've liquidated it after the fundraising or the ICO. So it's unlike Bitcoin, where with Bitcoin, a lot of people are going in and out. With Ethereum, there's a lot more in than out for the most part. There has still obviously been some consolidation, being the fact that Bitcoin's consolidation is truly going to affect the market in every way. it's going to be hard to run away from that. But if you guys look at a side-by-side chart, you can see Ethereum is quite definitely holding against Bitcoin as much as it can. And what's interesting about that is that as Bitcoin continues to drop, Ethereum may start seeing a little bit more of this horizontal pattern form within itself. But I think when Bitcoin starts to rally back up, start seeing a little bit of a reversal, I think Ethereum will have even more strength put into it. And that would be interesting to watch. But if you look at RSI, completely opposite, which is very interesting here. Because if you look at other coins like LTC, BTC, that might be a little bit of a different scenario because LTC just released the light pay. But if we were to pull up like Tron, right, you could see with Tron, you can't even pull up that ICO. Let's pull up maybe a coin like Cardano, see how that's looking. So you can see RSI is low, pretty much following Bitcoin's consolidation. Not as dramatic as Bitcoin though. So hopefully that helped with that question. Somebody says, James Jory, ETH/USD chart looks completely different. Yes, well, you don't want to be using the ETH/USD chart, just to be quite frank with you. Yeah, ETH/USD, a lot different, but not that much. Looks pretty significant. I mean, RSI is obviously a lot lower, but I'm never looking at ETH/USD valuations. I'm typically looking at the BTC valuations, being the fact that I do see a future in which Bitcoin will act as that storage of value, but Ethereum will act more so as a stability coin, being the fact that you have a lot of coins fundraising on it. I think it's going to see a lot more stability over time because people want to have something predictable to fundraise with. Of course, they don't, you know, being an ICO, you don't want to have a coin that one day is worth this and then the next day it's worth this, because then you don't have a predictable capital to utilize within your project to enhance what you're planning to do. So that's kind of my opinion on that. But great question, James. Fatal Fury, why are you looking BTC value if BTC goes to 0? I never said BTC is going to 0. If you think BTC is going to 0, good luck in the market. I just don't see that happening. Bitcoin is obviously seeing consolidation. Just because you guys see something dramatic shouldn't mean that you should assume this is going to 0. That's an extreme ideology. My mentor always taught me this. He said, anybody that has an extreme ideology, you want to stay away from them because for the most part, in a way, it's kind of, you know, a little bit on the extreme side, and you know, you don't want to be an extremist all the time. You want to use a level-headed mindset. You want to be logical. You want to look at technicals, and in the logical standpoint, Bitcoin had a huge rally, so there's nothing wrong with seeing a correction like this. I mean, it's definitely not going to continue to go down to, you know, 0. If it does, I'd buy up as much Bitcoin as possible at $1 or $15 or $10. I mean, even at $100, I'd probably put a huge position in Bitcoin. So if it went down that low, then I'd hope it did. Dario said you have a good mentor. Thank you, Dario. He said, I'm just kidding. Okay, just saying. Habib said thanks. Blake Bedford Palmer, if Bitcoin is nothing but a store of value, it's gonna continue to die. So you're saying if gold is nothing but a store of value, it's gonna eventually die too? I don't see any logic behind that, but okay. Somebody says greetings from down under. Good to have you, Daweed. Agent Novak, define a correction. Great question. So we will go to Google, but as we do that, typically corrections are considered 10% in traditional markets. I like to amplify things. So a correction is, in my opinion, within the crypto market around 20 to 50%, being the fact that I feel like more things are amplified. But if you type in a market correction here on Google, it will probably say 10%. Yep, a market correction is defined as a decline of at least 10% from recent highs. The threshold for a bear market, a slide of at least 20%. So a little bit different, I think, with cryptocurrency. It's amplified because it's an emerging market in a speculative bubble. And because of that, everything is amplified. And not only that, the thing with Bitcoin and the whole market in general is when it sees a correction, when money comes in, it's going to stay volatile. So this type of correction, in my opinion, is extremely healthy, but obviously it's going lower than we want it to. You know, it's under the 200-day moving average, which indicates a bear trend and where we're headed. So that is the truth. Somebody says the better store of value, the longer it will last. Google user, yes. Somebody says any idea on XRP? I would stay cautious about XRP, because there's a lot of tokens out there, guys, that have no true utility. And what I mean by that is there's no reason for them to have a token, right? You have all of these projects that have tokens that don't need a token. So be careful with some of these projects. Like Ripple, for example, has a 99 billion max supply, and is it really going to be worth $3 a piece, or let alone 183,000 satoshis, right? You just have to kind of think about it. Why would it be worth that much, right? What is the actual intrinsic value of it? And intrinsic value is what is the use of it? And if there's no use of it, or there is a use of it, but it's not necessarily tied to a certain price range, then why be valued at such a high price? You're not buying shares of a company. I think people have to separate that mindset. You're not buying shares of a company when you're buying into these coins. You guys are just buying coins that are coins, literally. There's really no sort of vested interest in the company that you're buying coins in. You're just buying the coin in expectation that that coin is going to be worth more. So it's the definition of a speculative market. Some people are going to buy random coins just because they have a feeling it's going to be worth more, when in reality there's no true intrinsic value. So if that's the case, then, you know, good for you. If you made money on a coin that has no intrinsic value, good for you. But if you're looking 5-10 years from now, even 1 year from now, things are going to be a lot different. And you'll see CoinMarketCap, the top 20, is going to be a lot different than it is right now in a couple years, especially even as more markets develop and more coins are produced. Somebody says it's like buying into a GoFundMe. Sean Stewart. Are you holding a lot of LTC, Mike Nijin? I am not holding a lot of LTC at the moment. LTC, in my opinion, is a little bit up right now because of the light pay and such. I think it had a little bit of that extra pump there. And I'm being very careful with what positions I put in at this point, because once again, it's hard to trade a horizontal market. You know, I signed up for a lot of these trade alert websites, and I did another one today. This one was a 6-month subscription. So I'm going to be forwarding all of those through the Patreon as well, as long as they're verified and vetted out by me. But I'm gonna be pretty, I'm expecting to see, or I'm kind of like anxious to see what they're gonna post on these trading alerts that, people are paying tons of money for, and I can't wait to, share that with you guys, as long as, they're beneficial to the community and accurate in some way, shape, or form. So, it's going to be interesting to see how people trade this type of market. But in my experience and my personal perspective on this, because this is all about sharing perspectives, right? My perspective is trading a horizontal market is not the smartest thing in the world, because prices are declining and you want to be very careful as you dollar cost average your way into a position. So ensure yourself that it is a bottom, so you know that you can get prices at the lowest possible cost, because you want to always buy in the red and sell in the green. Somebody, Lasse Vendesand, always remember the difference between price and value. Price is down. Yes. Joey King said Naheem coin. Anand said up. Silver Jaguar said ICOs keep coming and coming. Do they ever stop? Shaunik Shetty said a lot of us are stuck with a bag of DGD. Could you have a look at it? Should we hodl or take the loss? DGD BTC. Oh, unfortunately, this does not look too good. Well, we just entered green Fibonacci retracement, just dropped below the 50-day. So, yeah, we're definitely going down on this one, in my opinion. It's probably going to form a descending triangle, if not within the next couple of hours. So, descending triangle is when you have a horizontal support level and a descending resistance level. So that would be depicted within this pattern. If you guys go on our Trading View resource and pull up Trading 101, you guys can actually go up and see exactly how a descending triangle is formed with this descending resistance line and horizontal support levels that indicate a negative trend. So it doesn't look too good, but hopefully that helps. Zach Croker, hey, love this channel. Please do list. It would mean a lot to me. Why don't you guys give me a reason to do coins instead of just asking? Give me a reason, like a real legitimate reason, instead of just shotgunning coins. You know, I want to be able to really look at coins that matter. You know, DGD, there was a good reason for it. He said a lot of us have our money in it, and you're right. You know why? Because I'm on my Discord and I'm listening to the community, and part of what people were shouting out recently was DGD. We had a ton of people trading DGD on our voice chats. So these voice chats totally help out with your trading, guys. I highly recommend getting on these voice chats because it's all collaborative, right? There's no better form of trading than doing it in collaboration. And the best part is it's free. So for those of you that don't have the time for that, I recommend the trade alerts on the Patreon. So that would probably be your best bet for those of you that want something on the go. Trinity and Neo, a good pair. I'm not sure. Neo. Good for bringing up Neo, though. I think Neo, Ethereum, and several other platforms that are de-application platforms are going to see some sort of stability in this downturn. I think when we look 6 months from now or a year from now at the total market cap and what coins are achieving the most, I think coins like Ethereum and Neo are the ones that are really going to find the most strength, alongside with coins like Stellar, right? Now, Stellar's got its own issue with having a max supply that's out of this world, but you are able to build decentralized applications on it. And like the Kick ICO went ahead and transferred into Stellar. So that's one use case of how a major corporation like Kick, which is worth billions of dollars, is utilizing a platform they believe is better. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go ahead and see what the super chat has to say. And it says here that the question on the super chat is from Orange. Thank you, Orange. Can you cover Nano? I love the tech and community. Looks rough though. Also, were you saying ETH can act as a hedge against BTC? Love seeing your channel grow. Cheers. Cheers to you as well, Orange. Thank you for the compliment. And yes, ETH is certainly acting as a hedge against Bitcoin. And the reason so is because Ethereum is fundamentally built differently than Bitcoin. In many ways, it acts as a whole different purpose. And what I mean by that is you've got decentralized applications built upon this platform that raise funds in Ethereum. So you've got venture capitalists that put money into Ethereum when they're fundraising and supporting these platforms. Therefore, they don't want to see their money just drop to nothing. So they hold most of the money, and these platforms that raise money with Ethereum typically will hold the tokens as well and slowly divvy that up as they need more funds to use for projects. So it's not like a coin that's just being traded back and forth all the time. For the most part, Ethereum has utility to it, and that utility is it acts as a gas reward for these developers building on the decentralized applications platform that these companies provide, such as Ethereum and Neo. Neo has its own app store, if you guys don't even know that. Highly recommend looking at that. It's cool. So I like XRB though. XRB Nano is a great coin. I think that there are certain vulnerabilities that I was made aware of from a Ripple developer that is part of our Discord, and it has to do with double spending. However, I think as a platform, over time, as it develops and matures, I think what they're trying to accomplish is great. If you guys have ever used Ray blocks, it's almost instantaneous. Costs very little, and I think it has large potential. So we'll pull up the chart. Sorry for blinding some of you guys that don't like the white on the screen. I'll try my best not to keep that up there. We're going to be doing a night owl tonight. For those of you new to this live stream, our night owl is pretty much where you guys have the chance to talk to me or any one of our other moderators, admins, or analytics. And I highly recommend all of you guys to be there tonight. It's going to be on our Discord, and we'll have a little bit more details of that later in the stream. And we'll also give away a book today on our live stream. So for those of you that stay on the live stream, you guys will have the ability to win that book. Shout out to Vince Wang. He said free money. Naeem. He calls it fake money. Vince like Vince Carter. Vince Carter's a really good player. If you guys know who Vince Carter is. So we're looking at XRB BTC, and let's go ahead and focus in here on what's happening here with price levels. Definitely seeing some retracement back here down to 141,667 Satoshis. And what I would say here, looking at this coin, is if we were to pull up our handy dandy line tool here, you can see that we are heading towards these previous support levels of 139,712 Satoshis. So now that we're heading back down to these levels, in my opinion, we've formed a double top up here coming down. Let's go ahead and insert some indicators here to trace this this coin, and we'll go ahead and use the MACD here alongside with the relative strength index, or the RSI. Understand the RSI is a great indicator for swing traders. This will make you guys a lot of money. For those of you watching this live stream for the first time, welcome to Sniper's Tube. We're going to show you guys how to become traders that are logical rather than emotional, because that's probably the most important aspect of trading. It's being logical. There's too many emotional people out there, and emotions will really hurt you guys in the long term with these markets, because you'll end up selling in the green, buying in the, selling in the red and buying in the green, which is probably not the best idea. So looking at RSI, we're heading back down to these lower lows. You can see we found previous support here in the RSI. By the way, a lot of people don't know this. Here's another little handy dandy nugget straight from Snipers. If you guys want to do technical analysis on these RSI levels, it's still possible to do that. They do form their own support levels. So I'm going to be watching this to see if RSI will hit back down around 35.17. You can see MACD is heading straight down. It's looking like it's about to drill through this, which isn't a good sign. You can also look at the MACD and put like a little pointer at the end, and you can see a little bit more of an accurate depiction. If you guys want to know how to use the MACD, you've got a fast line and a slow line. So the fast line is represented here in blue. There's a fast length that's set at 12, slow length set at 26. And you're looking for these crossovers, because these crossovers are indicators that we're going to see further decline. The RSI is a lot faster than the MACD. I would use this if you're day trading, and I'd use this to look at swing trades to just understand what direction things are headed. There's also an indicator here called the Fibonacci retracement that is very handy. So there's going to be the next indicator we're going to start teaching here on Sniper's Tube, which is going to be the Bollinger Bands. And Bollinger Bands are fun because they almost have their own support and resistance lines as well, which I think will help a lot of you newer traders. So we'll go ahead and remove all these drawings, all these indicators here, and we'll go ahead and simplify this chart a lot so that you guys can start understanding more of these indicators, so you guys can start utilizing them for yourselves. Being the fact that most of our viewers tonight are new traders. Who here is a new trader? Say I on the chat. We got some people on Twitter. We got some people on YouTube. We got some viewers on Facebook and even Twitch tonight. Somebody says, got to get some better contrasts. Blip Boy Jeldon said I. Ramsey said still I. Good to see you, my man. Good to see you, Blip Boy. Vince Wang didn't say I. New York Life said I. The sipping coffee didn't say I. He asked a question. Hania said 3-month-old viewer. New Perspective said bought a bunch of Vibe coin. Good for you, brother. Polaroid said economics. Wolverine Style said I. Rizzo said I. Good. Awesome. So with XRB, it's, I think, heading down right now to a downtrend. I think it's going to break past this previous support level and probably head a little bit lower. It's being affected by Bitcoin quite a bit, so it's not acting as a hedge in any way, it seems. So that's just the truth for XRB here. Somebody says, what do you think of Binance coin? Will it go to $100 this year? Jason R. I think the BNB token is quite resourceful in many ways. It's a true utility within the Binance platform for lowering fees. However, you do have to keep in mind, do people really care about fees that much, right? I think they do to a certain regard, but at the same time, a newer trader is not going to understand the BNB token. So the potential for mass adoption is lacking versus the utility. I think the utility is there, but the potential for mass adoption is a little bit less. K. Particus said, hi, Mom, on Twitch. Someone owns 41% BNB. Blip Boy just sent an etherscan.io of the BNB balances. Yasim is in the house. Is the BTC value affecting the altcoins? Ishakimiki. I don't know. Why don't we check here? Let's see. Why don't we ask the audience here? Do you guys think it's affecting the value? Sorry for the white screen. Let me see. So, let me see. This is kind of hard. I don't know. Of course it's affecting all the other coins. I think that's the issue with Bitcoin and these other altcoins, is the fact that they're so connected to each other. Doesn't that kind of piss some of you guys off a little bit? Like, why are these coins connected to Bitcoin? Well, for a lot of different reasons. For the most part, one of the major reasons is the fact that you can only buy these coins with Bitcoin. So Bittrex is good. It's working on solving this problem by actually implementing more USD pairings. If you listen to the recent podcast, they announced more US dollar pairings with altcoins. So interesting, because Tether has recently had quite the controversial run-up within itself, and Tether is in all reality a coin that sticks to the dollar value, right? People had some doubts on it, but you can see it's still holding up, and it's being supported by a lot of major players in the market. Understand that Tether is also being supported now by Brock Pierce, who is a big investor in EOS. He does a lot of development with EOS as well. So Tether itself, in my opinion, doesn't have any sort of requirement to do an audit, and I think they are avoiding the audit for a lot of different reasons. Another reason that I found out or was made aware of recently was the fact that with Tether, sometimes it's smart to avoid the audits if possible, because maybe the government wanted the transactions that Tether was responsible for, which would give them a big microscope into our market and into our transactions in order to tax us, right? If that's the IRS's intentions. So I'm not saying that's like the end all be all, story about Tether, but that's an interesting perspective I heard today with another influencer within the crypto market. Doing my tax this week, somebody said. Somebody says, yo man, thanks for rescheduling the night owl. You're very welcome, Gabriel. Yes, we went ahead and rescheduled that night owl. However, tonight guys, it's going to be an exciting night. This is just the start of our night. It's going to be a really, really fun night tonight. And the reason being is, what I'm realizing is people that have more perspectives on strategies within the market are able to make their own strategy amplified in many ways, because they're able to tweak and adjust what they're currently doing in order to best match what the market demands. And I thought about it and I said, you know what? Sometimes it's hard when we get a huge group together, like over 99, 100, 150 people into one chat. And if you guys know, on our Discord, we have this free resource available where you guys can actually get on, and you can see on this voice channel, we already got, dozens and dozens of people here. So instead of doing a public night owl, we're going to be limiting the night owl tonight in order to get the best perspective. So for those rubies that are watching this video right now, we are going to be getting into the Patreon exclusive Ruby Plus Night Owl. So after this video, after this live stream, we're going to be heading over to our Discord channel. For those of you who are Patreons, which all of you can become Patreons, the link is on the top scroll bar. We're going to be getting into the Ruby Plus Night Owl. It's going to be a Ruby and above Night Owl. So if you are a Ruby, you guys can come in there, and being the fact that it's a lot more of a condensed environment, it really allows you guys to ask me questions, and we get into a lot more depth. And our conversation's typically a lot more productive, being that it is a Ruby and above Night Owl, and there's individuals that have actually went ahead and took the step of becoming a Ruby on the Snipers team. So I hope to see some of you guys there tonight. Once again, somebody said, how does the Ruby look? This is actually how it looks. This is, so when you go on our Patreon, just go down to Ruby, and that's where it looks. I don't want to blind everyone here. So that's going to be right after this live stream, and it's going to start right at 2:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So right now it's 1:42 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So give it about 30 minutes, and we'll be over there outside of this live stream. Somebody says, could you post the link? Yes, I can definitely post the link for you here. I'll post that on the chat here for you, as well as our Discord. So the Discord is a free resource. You guys can actually go in there if you guys aren't heading over to the Ruby and above. But here is the Patreon link there for you. And then we got a question here. So somebody said, so when will I be able to listen to the Night Owl if I won't be up for it as a Ruby member, Hansley? Yes, so if you're not going to be there tonight as a Ruby, we'll post all of our Night Owls under our podcasts. So if you guys go to Patreon, I send everything out. I send a recording to you guys that you guys can actually go in and listen to. If you guys go to posts on our Patreon down here, you guys can see all of our podcasts that we post here. And you can literally pull it up on your phone and listen to it like a song or whatever on the way to work, on the way back to work, while you're changing the diapers on your baby, or if you have any kids while you're cooking, whatever you want. You know, so you guys will always get the recordings. You'll never miss any of the information if it is a live call. And then that's why we have other tiers as well. So if you're an Emerald, you actually get every recording of every Night Owl, whether it's a Ruby and above or not, which is very useful for a lot of people who like things on the go. And what I'll tell you right now is what I'm realizing, a lot of people are really taking initiatives to get more information, get more access. And that's what I'm really trying to provide the most through this community, is more access to the insider information, into the information that is almost locked up and not available to the general public, because I think it's so important to get that information, being the fact that you're actively engaged in the market. So for those of you not actively engaged in the market, you also have the ability to get those resources and that information to you, but obviously you're gonna have to take other means. And that's why I've created these programs like the Gold and the Ruby and the Emerald for you guys to really get a hold of your trading and not be trading blindly. So when I was in the stock market, something that really hurt me was the fact that I traded blindly a lot. And what I mean is, sometimes when you're looking at a stock, for example, GoPro, right? If I'm looking at GoPro to invest in, and I don't understand the fundamentals of it, and I don't understand that GoPro is possibly launching a new product soon, then I may make a bad trade because I don't understand what's happening within GoPro's company or within the news cycle. So staying up to date is extremely important, and I highly recommend that you guys all keep your minds open to new information, seeing different perspectives. And for example, I'll tell you one thing that a lot of our traders that make quite a bit here do is they stay in these trading chats here. So if you go to a voice channel, they'll stay inside these chats, and if you guys listen in,
78, 80
people are always talking in these chats.
Because I really want to do it if it's worth it. You know, if I'm going to get 100% on it going down 10%, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
You see, so they're talking about 100%, 10%. So that, just listening in on those is so important. So hopefully some of you guys have the ability to do that, because I think that will truly help you. It's really just staying in the know, right? So once you're aware of what's happening within the market, you have the ability to really enhance yourself and what you're doing. So I really recommend you guys doing that. And let's go ahead and take a user question. Who here is on the live stream tonight? Let's see who we got here. Somebody said, great content. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. Oh, wow. Somebody says, I want to do it too. That is awesome. Somebody said TGIF. I don't get what that means. TGIF Fridays? Oh. Somebody said, still a good idea. Did I miss some bad news? No, there's not been a bad news. Hi, name. Is it better to sell BTC coins to fiat or buy alts until it retraces to 3,000 level? I don't know where you got the 3,000 level. Sorry for that notification. I don't know why that just turned on. But in my opinion, the altcoins will follow for the most part, other than certain coins that you're allowed to build the applications on. I think those that have platforms that can fundraise independently, such as Ethereum, will see itself maintain value against Bitcoin as the downtrend continues. But for a lot of the coins that don't have that in their fundamentals, I think those coins are going to see the most downside, being the fact that there really isn't any reason for them to continue or maintain their price levels at current price levels or where they're currently at. So hopefully that helps. Super Chat says, there seems to be a decent amount of price manipulation sell walls on XRB. Thoughts, Orange? Yeah, I noticed that. You see these huge candlesticks? I noticed that. It was like, man, why is there so much candlesticks here? It seems like there's a lot of price manipulation. I would be a little bit careful with XRB just right now, being that price level. As you can see, we're heading even lower, so that was already confirmed here. We are breaking these levels down here, and it's going to continue to go down as this RSI drops. So be very careful with a coin like that. Somebody said, it's funny, market is burst and done. Burnto kid. I don't think so. I think we have a lot of upside potential left, so we'll see here. Somebody says, look at the chart, not only will we fall, we will crash land. I think that's a little bit of an extremist opinion. I think we'll definitely see more upside. Somebody said, isn't everything dropping a little? Yeah, for the most part, everything does seem to be dropping. Somebody says, if you like this video, Naeem will shave his head off. I don't know about that. Maybe if we get 500 likes on the video before the end of the stream, I'll do that. But I don't know if that's going to be possible. Oh my gosh, now all the likes are increasing. You guys are ridiculous. I actually did that early on in our streams. When we had like 100 viewers, I was like, I think if I hit 2,000 subs, I'd shave my head. Who was there for that? I don't know if any of you were there for that. Oh my gosh, now the likes are really increasing. Is that even possible? Could we even get 500? Oh wow, we have 665 watching, so that is possible. I don't think it'll happen though. Most people are like watching on their TVs or something. Okay, now it says 117. Are you guys serious? You guys are crazy. Oh my gosh. It's really jumping right. People who are watching on their TVs are like getting like on their phones to like it right now. They're like, this is hitting 500. Somebody's gonna like go on one of those websites and pay them to like get I'll literally shave my head off. I said it. You guys know I don't go against my word. Oh my gosh, 167. All right, it literally just like tripled. It just went to the moon. You guys are crazy. I did it at 2,000 subs. That's why my hair is so short. It was never short, really. If you guys watch videos back, like I literally shaved my head. It was ridiculous. I went to the barber. I'm like, I need to take it all off. He's like, you never take it all off. You always get the gentleman's cut. I'm like, I gotta take it all off, man. I gotta keep my word. But you know, it is what it is, right? Are you guys now? It's at 207. Where were you guys before? Incubating? You guys were all incubating, waiting for a reason. Somebody says you should do this more often. Andrea Tell to. We try to do this every night. Some nights I'm out and about with, you know, different people, just gathering, networking, just doing my thing, and you know, it's just not as productive to get on these live streams, but we do this fairly often, you know. But for our Twitch, it's a little bit of a newer thing. We just started getting on Twitch because of our Patreon supports. We were able to upgrade that live stream and upgrade our servers to allow for that, so shout out to that. So it's at 227 now. That's good. Somebody says, how long do you think altcoins will stay dependent on the Bitcoin fluctuations? Really good question. I have a really good answer for that too. So for the most part, most of these altcoins are following Bitcoin just because of the fact that you can pretty much only buy them with Bitcoin. But I think once we see more USD pairings for these coins, we'll see a lot more upside. But one other factor that is interesting, and I think this will help a lot of you guys, is a lot of these coins don't really have any sort of reason to be valued so high. And what I mean by that is when you look at coins that really have no intrinsic value, for example, those coins don't necessarily have to have a large market cap. Like there really isn't a necessary reason for that. And they're really just speculative coins that are raising in value because Bitcoin is rising in value. And you know, you want to be careful with those coins because they don't really have true intrinsic value to them. Because if you pull up this BTC chart, you can see here Ethereum has pretty much held the strongest out of all of these top 10. Not one of these coins, Litecoin's obviously seeing a little bit of a positive because they just had the Light Pay announcement and stuff. But with Ethereum, it's holding very well against Bitcoin. Obviously, it can't hold forever. There's definitely going to be some sort of effect to it, but it's staying at that 0.1 Bitcoin level, which is 10 million Satoshis, which is just phenomenal in my opinion for Ethereum. You know, being such, you know, a token of what it is with funds being raised in it, I think it's great. So hopefully that helps a little bit. So he says, what are your trade alerts? My trade alerts are going to be sent out to all Patreons. So if you guys are Patreons, the link is in the description. You know, we got tons of people joining Patreon now. We've seen a huge influx of users recently because I've actually taken multiple different platforms. There's one called the Crypto Watch. I think it's like $2,000. They send 3 trade alerts, actually 3 newsletters with trade alerts, ICO reviews, and such thereof 3 times a month. So that's one thing I'm going to be forwarding to all of our Patreons that pay nothing basically compared to that. I just can't advertise it like that because I'll probably get banned from them. But I want to share the information. I don't mind doing that. And then there's another one I subscribed today. I think it was like $600. And that's like a daily trade alert. So I might be posting daily trade alerts just as long as I verify them and I look at them. So I just want to give you guys a little bit more ease of use with your trades. Some people just don't know what coins to look at because there's so much, and that's really what the trade alert's best for. If you don't trade that much, I wouldn't use it. But if you guys are just looking for like ways to make, you know, 10, 15% or maybe 5% here and there, maybe at least 5% a day, then that's what the trade alerts are really going to be for. And you can always stop them at any time. I don't even think it charges you the first month if you subscribe. So you can subscribe all the way until the end of the month and then, you know, decide whether or not it's something you want to keep. So yeah, I mean, that is open for you guys. And I would recommend getting the app on your phone. It's called the Patreon app, and you guys make sure you turn on your push notifications. So I also send out podcasts and stuff, special content, to update you guys on what my predictions are throughout this time frame. Like, I've been updating all my patrons throughout this whole downturn and helping a lot of people out with that. So yeah, somebody says, is there going to be a night out tonight? Yes, there will be a night out tonight. It will be Ruby and above. So all Ruby patrons and above, after this live stream, we're going to be heading over to our Patreon exclusive under Ruby Plus. You can see we already got 2 people here. And we're actually going to be discussing the different strategies taking place in the market. So what that means is we're just going to be talking about what people are doing with this downturn. Are they hedging? Are they buying altcoins? What altcoins are they buying? And we'll do that sort of Q&A. And for those of you that won't be present in the Night Owl for the Rubies, there's actually a spot here under voice channels for Boiler Room Voice where you guys can actually get in and just listen in, get some knowledge and information. That's all open for you guys. So that's the Discord. The link is also in the description. Shout out to we got a new Ruby, Paul Kim. Just subscribe to the Ruby. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to KZoo, just subscribe to Ruby. Shout out to Jason Kosh, just subscribe to Ruby. Shout out to Nicholas, just became Emerald. John Ha just became a Ruby. We got tons. Wow. Somebody said Neo is getting more fiat pairing. Oh, somebody says that's me, Capricutus. That's awesome, man. Neo is getting more fiat pairings. Awesome. Somebody says just became a Ruby member, brother. Love your work. Thank you, PK. Somebody says, Naim, I figure you do your due diligence for the alert services, but are you worried there are no more than fancy pump lists? No, I'm not, Sultan. Pumps are different. Pumps will never sell, or they will sell. Trade alerts typically don't sell. Somebody said, if you've never seen this pattern, you can check out my Discord channel. It's a completely free resource you can use to improve your investing strategy. Smash that like button. I love you, Orange. Thank you, Orange. You're funny, man. I love you, Orange. He put that in the end. You're funny, dude. Thank you, brother. Somebody says, TRX has Justin behind it. I think he is great. Do you think it will have value later? Hey, Azumi Hong Kong. I don't know if you're a Patreon Ruby or not, but if you are, I'd love to have you in our night owl tonight because it seems like you are from China. Because you said TRX has Justin behind it, and I think he's great. And most Americans don't think Justin is great. So I'd love to hear your opinion because the other individual I heard from China, because our night owls have worldwide users. I mean, it's awesome. You know, I had a guy from like Slovakia the other day telling us like all the stuff that people know in Slovakia about crypto and like what coins are popping. Some guy from Japan was there telling us about NEM and how it's like used everywhere. There's like an NEM bar. But he said it will have a value. Going into the Japanese and Korea and China market and maybe with Alibaba behind it, Naim, can you give your opinion? I think Justin, I think he has some pretty stout you know, I think he has a pretty stout perception within the Chinese market because he communicates with the Americans. You know, he does those live calls on Twitter, even though he barely knows English. most people in China don't know English, so he's able to communicate, and that is, you know, some sort of, it gives people a perception of him, like, man, he's actually working towards building this. And, you know, from what the guy put it to us from China, he said he's almost like the Mark Zuckerberg of China, just this young entrepreneur that's making a lot of moves. So shout out to him for doing that, for sure. Seriously, I just became a Ruby. Awesome, man. Welcome to the squad. So he says, you look like the guy from American Pie. That's funny. I never got that one. That is hilarious. Somebody said, it's breaking out, guys. Jeff Samuel, I'm going to Discord. Nice seeing you, Sniper. Awesome, brother. Good to see you. Z Cotto said, LOL. Daniel said, everyone send a shout out in your native language. Somebody says, what coin is good for now? Ethereum is definitely acting quite well against Bitcoin, so I like where Ethereum is at. I personally am not putting much money into the market just yet, as we enter this bear trend. I believe we'll start to see a little bit of more consolidation, possibly around that 5,900, 5,800, 5,700 range, being the fact that we really saw a little bit of strong support down here at this price level. I think that would complete this correction. If you see here, it just makes sense, right? You can see, bam, we had this huge run up, and then we'll see this here, and then possibly some sort of horizontal movement or maybe a slight angle, because nothing will always go up or nothing will always go down. It's a balancing act, right? So somebody said, is there a Ruby night owl tonight? Yes. So the night owl tonight is rubies and above. So that means you guys can get into this. Look, we already got a ton of people here, and I like that it's small because it allows us to really get good information in and out. And then for those of you that can't make it because maybe you have to sleep, as long as you're a Ruby, you'll get that on the Patreon app, so just download that. Shout out to Charlie Luresen, just became a new Ruby. Good for you, brother. We'll see you tonight. Somebody says, how long do you reckon will it take for the you're probably from Europe, aren't you? How long do you reckon it will take for the consolidation period to end? I believe it'll be around that 5,900 level. I think that's the next true support, and I think it'll get into that bear trend. And as that goes in, you can dollar cost average your way into your position. So he says, US is the coin dollar. So he says, dude, Verify Phone is on Discord. Yes. So on our Discord, we actually have a lot of safety measures on there just to make sure that the Discord is extremely safe and open to just the ones that can add value. So we have phone verification. And then also when we ban people, because we ban people all the time, and we ban for really small things because we need to keep this environment pure. So if you post referral links, if you guys post anything that's offensive, if you guys say anything derogatory, anything like that, we delete that and ban you immediately. And then since you verified your phone number, you can't get back in. So it's just a preventative maintenance strategy that we put in place to limit community. When we got over 24,000 members there, we don't need any sort of people breaking the rules. So make sure you read the rules when you're in there. It's important. But if you do get banned, just send me a message on Twitter or something, let me know. And you know, if you took that initiative, I'll take that into consideration. Somebody says, I'm in the voice room. How can you see who's talking? You just join in. So you just click voice channels and then boiler room voice, and then you're in.
VPN client uses IPVanish, and the company has no logs. They don't keep logs. So even if they get like rated, they have no.
That's interesting. And then you go to trading, or actually Patreon exclusive, and you'll see where we're at. So these are breakout. Oh, look at that.
All the crashes throughout history, they've become stronger and, you know, more.
It's like a college campus. I look at our Discord like a college campus, and this is like where the teacher comes in and teaches. Like, this is where I'll be tonight, Ruby and above. You can see we already got people in here. Make sure you turn on your push to talk. So click user settings, voice and video, push to talk. I don't have it on since I pretty much answer all the questions there, but highly recommend that. So this is tonight. We'll be on the Ruby and above night owl. So all rubies. And we talk about a lot of stuff. Like, this was a portfolio we were talking about the other day. People were asking me like how I would set up my portfolio, and I show them an example. You know, I'm very open and transparent with our night owls, and when you guys ask questions, I like to answer them in depth. But this is cool. We got like different rooms now, breakout rooms. So this, they'll talk about all the breakouts that are currently happening. They'll trade it and then decide on when to get out altogether. So this is a pretty cool room. There's a limit of 12 people, which is interesting. And then we have different voice channels. So it's literally like a college campus, like for crypto. It's pretty cool. You know, and there's actually a phone app for Discord too. So you can literally do it on the go. You can be in your bed just listening. I know people do that all the time. Vince is probably doing that right now with Amy. So somebody says, Naeem, you don't sound lively tonight. Is the market taking its toll on you? No. No, it's not. I don't get emotional about the market. I'm just relaxing. I'm not excited about the market, I'll tell you that. I'm definitely not excited about it. I mean, I'm obviously not doing so good on January. I'm not hitting my goals. I'll be honest with you. I mean, definitely not hitting my goals. How do you hit your goals when you see this downtrend? Look at that. Look how sharp that decline is. I can't hit my goals. So at least not right now, you know, and that's fine. The best traders make money in every market, right? And I haven't lost money. I mean, if you consider this position I put here in the 11.3 range and drop down, I guess you can say that was a small loss. But even so, I mean, I'm holding that. I won't sell it, so I don't lose until I sell, right? That's why I like adding more cash to the market. New cash, I call it. Rizzo said, I'm getting used to not hitting my goals too. Well, that's good. You don't want to always hit your goals, but you also don't want to never hit your goals. You want to set appropriate goals because it's a psychological tool. Somebody says, we're in February. Yeah, that's true. Somebody says, I listen on the Discord while I'm driving. Frank McLovin. We got tons of people on Twitter, Facebook. Let's do a community consensus here. Let's ask a question. Do you guys think Bitcoin will go up or down? Just type it in the chat, up or down. Let's see what we get. Thoughts on Bittrex exchange to add USD trading, Johnny? I think it will level out the pressure that we see with the attachment of Bitcoin's price to altcoins, because now you have a direct access through US dollars and hedging that. How do you see who's talking? You just see whose voice, or yeah, whose thing pops up. Somebody says down then up. Hexarock. Blipboy said dwib. Down. Julianne said down. Simone said up. DJ Zeem said down then up. Scarcen said down. Hugo said up. Ian said, can you give me a brief opinion of the top 10 coins? David said down. Xantron 420 said down. Jesse said amazing. Interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Oren said up forever and ever. Nate said up. Luke said down. Fatal Fury said down. Capricuticus says it's going to form a channel before the breakout. Nice, I like that. More specific. DJ Zem says down to 7K, then up. Ron Thomas is down and up after 6 months. Dennis said, if it's going to rise, why sell in a panic? I can't get the people who sell when it's going up. I disagree, Dennis. I would say sell when it's going up. You have to know how to take profits. There's one thing I learned about this downtrend. I'll be honest. I'm humble here. I'm not going to say I'm humble. I have full humility with what I talk about here. And I'll tell you right now, I learned my own lesson, you know. And my lesson was the fact that I want to take more profits on the way down or on the way up, you know. And that was the biggest lesson, because I was kind of using my conservative strategy that I use in the stock markets. But in the crypto market, it's so much faster. You want to take profit. Everything, you know what I've learned to realize? This might help some of you that come from traditional markets like me. Everything in crypto, you need to speed up, I'd say 2 to 4x. Because everything else is 2 to 4x faster. At least right now. That might change as futures and stuff tame the market. Somebody said up and down, Habib. Let's see. Zheng Shengzhe said, hello, Jason Biggs. Caprica said, he actually looks more like Corey from Boy Meets World, in my opinion. What the heck are you guys talking about? Boy Meets World? That's funny. Boy Meets World, Corey. Let me search that up. That's funny. It looks like the guy from Pineapple Express. I don't think I look like that at all. So it says, do you have a free trial for the Ruby subscription? I think it would be a fantastic idea, Zkoto. You can just get on it and then just, you know, if you don't like it, you can always get out. I mean, they don't, like, you know, if you want to, it's risk free. So the Patreon is really cool with what they do. You know, they give you like a ability to really determine whether you like it or not, and you know, there's no way for you to lose it if you don't like it. Somebody says, the diversions created by the government money has been taking a toll for quite a time. The trend could have been reversed already, but it needs more correction as people during a downtrend keep their negative state of mind without much hope of reversal, while on a possible uptrend we will have the cautious attitude for a longer time. Interesting perspective. Thank you for sharing that, ND3000. That is awesome. I like that. Good perspectives. Naeem, what is your opinion about Puerto Rico tax-free structure for crypto? So let's talk taxes. I've been getting together with a ton of CPAs. Puerto Rico, if you guys want to avoid taxes, if you guys make over, I'd say about $250,000 a year, listen up. I recently got together with my tax advisor because this is something that I was potentially considering. And what I was potentially considering was going to Puerto Rico because they have 4% corporate tax, 0% capital gains tax, and 0% dividend tax. What that means is if you structure your company properly and abide by their guidelines of residency, which would require 186 days in Puerto Rico, then you would be taxed 4% on corporate taxes. What that means, if you own a business, let's say you're a remote employee, maybe you work from online and you don't necessarily do physical business in the United States, you can go to Puerto Rico and avoid taxes. And that is completely legal, and people do it all the time. And it's called the nomad capitalist. Actually, that's actually like a term. So for those of you that do that, you have the ability to avoid tons of taxes, and it really works for a lot of people. But at the same time, you know, Puerto Rico, I don't know, anybody here from Puerto Rico? Anybody know about Puerto Rico much? Because from what I know, you know, it's a beautiful country, but I don't know if there's much like business and networking out there. I think it's more of like a relaxation place, and you know, kind of like a relaxed area. I don't know how I would feel moving from an area where I get to connect with a lot of influencers and such. But you know, maybe you can just portion it out. There might be ways around it. But yeah, sorry for that notification. Somebody says, so we need to hit the bottom of the bottom to leave it will only go up. Yes. Somebody said Puerto Rico would be nice. Somebody says, same here in Europe. Yeah, you guys are all lucky from Europe. Not avoid taxes, now minimize taxes. Yes, you're right, Gary. Yes, thank you for the correction. You're minimizing taxes in reality, but you're really, I mean, that's the difference if you make $1 million from 400,000 or 4,000. So I think it's a big deal. Or 40,000, sorry. Somebody says no electric. Somebody says a bunch of millionaires went to Puerto Rico to build a crypto city. It's true. Yes, that's true, Rizzo. Somebody says, Sultan, hey, I was thinking of the same thinking after hearing Brock and a bunch of other crypto guys are building a huge community down there. Yes. Somebody says, Pete, my last comment. Your government benefits are different too. True. But after Maria Hurricane, I heard it's bad. Nate, you know, I lived in Florida, and after hurricanes, people overhype what really is happening, in my opinion. So he says, Portugal, also no taxation on crypto. Good. Now that BTC is going down for sure, would margin trading be viable? Ron Thomas, I'd be careful margin trading on a down market. But what I would do is we actually have a margin trading channel here in our Discord. Highly recommend it. It's very active right now. That could help out. So definitely notate that. Somebody said, hello from Perth, Australia. You heard about the crypto city? Yes. Somebody says, yeah, no, Brock Pierce is forming crypto culture in PR. Yup, Topher. Yuka said, Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., Naeem. Yes, but it's a U.S. territory, so they have different tax laws. Nate said, can we go to PR together? We might need to if we're going to go there, because I don't know anybody there. Somebody says, taxation is theft. That's a perspective. Puerto Rico just had 90% destruction from fall hurricanes. Yes. Foreign said something. Somebody said, I'm from Florida. Pakistan is also tax-free. That's good. You guys remember when India like wanted to avoid their currency from being used, so they like disabled their currency use and said come to the banks and redo it? I think that was crazy. That's why they need blockchain. Somebody says good luck with your rap career. Somebody says, don't pay taxes on BTC in Germany and UK, I believe, as it falls. Just got here. How far does he think BTC will fall, your owner? 58, 5,900. Somebody says, do you think Ripple has a possibility of being $1,000 each? No. Nate, what level can I chat with you and ask more questions? Nate, I would say go to the Patreon Ruby Night Owl. You don't really need a diamond membership to that. You can see we got a couple people already here, and we'll see an influx of people that are Rubies join in. So just come to the Ruby Plus tonight if you are a Ruby, and you will have the ability to ask me any questions, man. So he says, how do you feel about the recent U.S. stock market losses impacting crypto? Is this correlated? Gareth, I think the stock market will see a fatal crash soon, being the fact that, not a fatal crash, that sounded really bad, but there's a crash every 7 to 10 years, according to Ray Dalio, who actually predicted 08 financial crisis, and I think it's going to be the same thing here with the stock market. I don't think the stock market's going to continue to see the gains that it's been seeing. If we type in, like, just look at the NASDAQ here for a sec. But if you do the NASDAQ here, the NASDAQ composite, you can see here exactly what's going on. This little crash that people are talking about, it's pretty significant. It's the largest crash, I think, in 2 years. This is the worst week in 2 years, I think, from what I heard. So, you know, that's really bad for the stocks, obviously. 7506. So a lot of people, I think, now that this happened, I think this is going to cause a lot of panic, and that's typically how these corrections occur. So just like Bitcoin stock correction, I think we'll see some people hedge against the stock market with Bitcoin. Somebody says, will it hit 6K? I think so. Himalayan, it's on its way down for sure. Somebody says, agreed. Yes. So, wow, we got tons of new Patreons. So shout out to David, just became a new Patreon. Shout out to Sam Vafu. See you tonight in our Ruby and Above Night Owl. Shout out to Michael, Redefining Wealth, just became a new Ruby. See you tonight, man. Shout out to Andrea Teltiu, just became a new Gold, so you'll be getting the trade alerts. And then shout out to Herman Beering, just became a new Emerald. So shout out to Herman. I'll see all of you guys tonight. So the Patreon website's in the description. We're all going to be heading over to our Ruby and Above Night Owl soon. So that's going to be under this chat here. We're going to be doing some questions and going over specific strategies that people are doing. It's going to be more of a collaborative talk. So I'm going to hear from a lot of you guys that have something to say about the current market situation and what's progressing and where we're headed. And this will help a lot of you guys that are new to the market for sure. So can't wait to see some of you guys there tonight. Somebody said, that's funny. And I really want to talk to you and get it good in crypto and move to PR and be your neighbor in Dorado. That is hilarious. What is Dorado? Now you're getting more specific, man. Now I'm taking it more serious. Dorado says is a constellation, is a southern constellation. Oh, it says a municipality in Puerto Rico. Interesting. Somebody says, is it possible Bitcoin will hit below 5K? Andrea said, thanks. I can't wait to start trading based on Patreon trading alerts. I just installed the app. Awesome. Yeah, for sure, man. I've actually gathered a ton of different subscriptions that cost thousands of dollars. I'm literally spending thousands of dollars just to get myself on trading alert subscriptions that are a lot more credible, that cost a lot of money, because most people won't do that, but I don't mind doing that, being the fact that we have our own trading alert system, but it's like literally nothing. It doesn't really cost anything compared to what these people are charging. So just don't say anything, I guess. I think one of them is like the Crypto Watch. One of them is, you know, I'm not going to advertise where, because I don't want to get banned from these platforms for just kind of, you know, releasing their trade alerts, but there's nothing wrong about doing. There's, you know, legalities. I talked to my lawyer about it, and everything is good as long as I just vet them out, make sure that it's something that I would, you know, consider. But yeah, so once again, none of this is financial advice. We don't give financial advice. Always do your own due diligence. But yeah, somebody said, where are you headed after this? We're going to the Ruby and Above Night Owl soon. So if you're on our Discord, the link is in the description. Don't be stubborn. If you guys are not on Discord, especially you guys on Twitch, you know, I don't see any of you guys from Twitch getting on here. You guys are lacking. I mean, you guys pretty much all have Discord. If you don't, this is the best platform I've ever used. Compared to Telegram, this blows it out of the park. You know, it's encrypted the same way. and it's just an amazing platform. But you can actually talk to people, you can actually communicate. We got a
Percent of
breakout
board.
chat.
Yeah, go on, Vet. Go on.
82%.
82%. You know, like, look, you go to Boiler Room.
Against other people you borrowed.
It's just tons of knowledge 24/7. So you guys will miss out a lot if you guys don't get in these. But you know, whatever, it's your decision. But if you guys want to be ahead of the 8 ball instead of being behind the 8 ball, then make a good decision. Naivim, you are the king of saying somebody says extremely quickly. I respect you for that. Thank you, man. Somebody said, Naeem, can you show us the correlation between gold and the stock market? That would take like a long time. Was Naeem laughing at my question? LOL, maybe. So he says, follow me on Instagram. That's a good way to promote it. You're going to have to be banned, man. Sorry. If you guys ever get banned, I know I ban like pretty crazy, like sporadically. Just message me on Twitter and let me know and I'll get you out. But if you don't message me, then I know you don't care and you're probably not listening to the live stream and you're not serious viewers, so I'll just keep you banned. So he says, don't think we have a good support need, just good news and it's coming soon, so stay strong, guys. Yeah, you know, once, you know, you have to go through adversity to get any sort of reward, right? So that's what I believe. Somebody says, what are your thoughts on BTC in 1 year's time? Will it get to new highs or just stay flat? I think later down the road it will be very, very consistent, because if it's a storage of value, it needs to find prices that are maintaining itself. And I think Ethereum will find itself going up in value as more decentralized applications are built on the ERC20 platform, which is why it's such a diversified asset class, in my opinion. One of my mentors, Yazan, he actually just had an ICO called the Gibral Network. He told me that if Bitcoin turns into a store of value, it's going to be good for all of these other coins, because then they can use that as a way to trade against all these other coins. But what will end up happening is all these coins will become disattached from Bitcoin's price, and Bitcoin will see, for all these altcoins to not follow Bitcoin, Bitcoin needs to find a stable price, right? If, let's say it stays at 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000, then if it stays at that price level, then these coins can do their own thing against it, right? But if it's going up and down, it's hard to determine. That would be called the ideal situation. Somebody says, what are you doing after this? We are heading over to the Night Owl. So if you guys go to Patreon exclusive, if you guys want to talk to me, you can plug in your microphone here. And if you guys are introverts and just want to listen in, you can do that as well. I record this as well. So for those of you that are rubies and above, you will get the recording. And we're going to be heading over there in about 5 to 10 minutes. Wow. Shout out to all our new, wow, we got David. Shout out to Mans, new Ruby. Shout out to Simone Soares, new Ruby. Shout out to Marius Ersadal, new Sapphire. Shout out to Ian Wajaya, new Ruby. I'll see you tonight, man. Good to have you guys on the team. And we're going to start heading over there sometime soon. So let's get that started in just a sec. Somebody says, how long have you been trading, researching crypto? I actually got my first Bitcoin right around 2010, quite a while ago, and I actually used to be a machinima gamer. I was doing Call of Duty videos, and I needed a way to accept payments, and I wasn't able to use PayPal, so I ventured into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was the only thing I could accept, so I used it as an exchange, right? I didn't invest in it. That's kind of the hindsight bias that I have now. And then around 2014, because I've always traded stocks in traditional markets and Forex, I had the ability to read charts and analyze charts and trade against or for different assets and commodities. And I ended up liquidating all my funds going into Bitcoin all in 2014. Didn't really mess with any other coins at the time, just trading it back and forth. And I had the opportunity to retire from my full-time corporate job on October 19th, 2017. Because of just the amazing growth we've seen in the market and the amount of time I was in the market. And I just started posting videos, and I ended up doing some technical analysis videos. I found that was my niche. People loved it. Our channel grew to one of the largest YouTube channels now. And now here we are, you know. Now we're streaming on 4 platforms. Sooner or later, we're going to be launching a lot more things. And it's just an awesome ride, you know. Now I'm posting a lot more on Patreon. I'm posting podcasts there and stuff, so it's been fun. So we just got a new super chat. Somebody says, Fun has a good support limit. Will BTC make it drop? Fun. Let's see here. Fun BTC. Thank you for the super chat, Peter. Wow, I mean, this has dropped quite a bit already, man. I don't know what more we can drop, right? Yeah, I mean, it seems to me this is pretty much hit pretty low where it's at right now. If you look at the RSI here and stuff, I think we might see a little bit more downside. You know, I mean, it's at 0.1. I mean, like 0.000001. So there's not much like more that it can go down. That's kind of sad. So sorry for fun. Apple Pizza 22 said, I have a question. So he says Patreon link. Could you post that, Sarah? That's our mod. Thank you. Matter of fact, let me give a shout out here. Shout out to Alex Constantine becoming a new Ruby. See you tonight, brother. Shout out to Chris G, just became a new Ruby. Got tons of people, ton of new golds here. I can't name all of them. Yeah, a lot of people just want the trade alerts, and that's what it seems like. We're getting a ton of golds today. That's awesome. I think we got over 1,000 gold, so I mean, it's worth it. So we're gonna be heading over to that night owl in just a sec, guys. Somebody says, could you post a link for the Discord? Yes, I will post this invite link for those of you not on our Discord. If you click the link on a mobile device, it will take you to the Discord mobile app. If you click it on a computer, it'll take you to the web app. And you can even download the desktop app. So there's a ton of different ways to do it. Highly recommend it. And then I'll also post the Patreon link since we're going to start heading over to that night owl tonight. So for those of you that are Rubies, I'll see you guys on our night owl tonight. Hopefully this helped out. Somebody said, hey, I just found out about your channel today. What time zone are you in? I'm in Pacific Standard Time, Joshua. Good to have you, brother. Somebody says, find me an archive Discord breakout chat. Yes. I signed up today. Do I get rank on Discord immediately? Yes. Discord will automatically rank you guys. Just give it a little bit of time to refresh. It takes like 5 minutes. And that's how we'll start this Ruby Night Owl. For those of you that are going to get on Patreon last minute, we'll start this Night Owl right at 2:35. So in about 11 minutes. Head over to Patreon exclusive. Click Ruby Plus. And then you can see we got a full house here. You guys can ask questions. We're going to be discussing, the topic today is strategy in a down market, because everybody has different strategies. I've talked about mine already, the dollar cost averaging down to previous support, and we're going to see what other people have to say tonight. And then tomorrow night we're going to be doing an ICO mastermind with our Rubies. So we actually got tons of other Rubies to go out and search up ICOs. Part of being in the Ruby program is we do collaboration. So we'll do test groups on the Ruby and aboves, and we send this all out in a podcast form so you guys can listen to this on your way home or such thereof. And it really makes it convenient for you guys to get this information on the go and stay up to date without having to stay up to date and looking through articles, because the worst place you can go is news articles where bloggers are getting paid to get traffic rather than getting it from the source, also getting it from other people. So that's highly recommended for you guys. But we're going to be heading over there tonight. Make sure to turn on your voice mic for a phone. You can click voice and video. If you're on your phone, you can use your phone mic. You can just click voice and video, push to talk, and then you'll be able to talk. And we're going to be heading over there tonight in just a second. And then we'll give, let's see here, a couple more shout outs. Will you shave your head, Naeem? We didn't hit 500 likes. If we hit 500 likes, right, we have 517 viewers right now, I'll shave my head. Somebody commented that earlier, so I was like, sure. So if we hit 500 likes, I don't mind shaving my head. How about that? We're only at 260. I don't think it's gonna happen. So not this time, suckers. I did that the other day. That wasn't fun. I've actually shaved my head before. That's why my hair is so low right now. Somebody says like this right now. Yeah, no, now the likes are all jumping up. Every time I say that, you guys are crazy. All right, so somebody says hit that like button. Oh my gosh, it's about to hit 300 now. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching this. We're going to be heading over to our Night Owl tonight on our Discord. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be getting on a schedule soon. And not only that, we're going to be enhancing a lot of things here. Stay up to date on our Patreon, our Discord. If you guys need anything, shoot me a message on Twitter. We post a lot of the updates on Twitter as well. And those are the 3 platforms primarily focused on right now. Other than that, we have other platforms, but I would say those are the 3 that we're engaged on that can actually add benefit to you guys. And for those of you guys that don't like to go to other platforms and stuff, don't be stubborn. Like, you have to sometimes get out of your comfort zone. My mentor taught me this. Is a name. try to experiment at least one thing every day. Because if you don't experiment every day, then you're never going to progress yourself. So experiment maybe by joining a Discord group, or joining the Patreon, right? Or even joining or following somebody on Twitter. You know, it doesn't have to be us. It can be whatever. All I'm saying is seek education, seek knowledge, because the more you learn, the more you earn. And with that being said, I'll see all of you guys in the Discord, Ruby and Above Night Owl, at 2:36 p.m., which is going to be in about 10 minutes. And snipers out. Thank you for tuning in.